so we have to give thanks, right?
For real, yeah, we have to.
All right, so I know the subject matter is very dear to your heart. I know you're passionate about this subject matter, and it's all about bereavement support and or the lack of bereavement support that people get. So talk to us. I know you're campaigning, and there's a petition that we're going to talk about shortly, but tell us your experience and, you know, why you're campaigning for bereavement support and on an official level as well.
Well,
tell us about it.
So it's not just really just around bereavement support itself. It's about having bereavement as an added protected characteristics in regards to the fact that I'll go into it more when we talk about why I've raised in the petition, but there is support in the communities for bereavement.
Yeah.
It's just that there is not enough support when it comes to recognizing it as a serious matter. And yes, I agree that grief and bereavement is a part of life, as many people have told me on my Instagram page. But it is the support you get at work and within the community that the people are in. And I started this because I lost my mum in 2018 on my wedding anniversary, which is coming up very soon, 13th of July. Sorry if I sound a bit shaky because I'm a little bit nervous. This is my first ever interview on the radio. So do bear with me. So as I said, I lost my mum and I didn't cope well with the loss of my mum.
Yeah.
And I think like many people can relate, you know, who's been through this. And it's been 5 years, as I said, coming up. My mum was my best friend. She was my everything. She was my whipping master, keeping me in shape. And, you know, I just couldn't cope knowing she wasn't no longer here. And I went to work. I thought I was fine. I thought I grieved when I was away because my mum passed while I was in Cuba and it was on our fifth wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
I thought being in Cuba I'd be fine, you know. I'd grieved, I'd be all right. And then I got back to the UK. I was a mess.
Yeah.
I went back to work. I thought I could cope. And there was no support there to help me or to even acknowledge the fact I didn't want to speak to people, or I may have had an outburst, or, you know, I was just constantly crying.
Was there a personality change?
Yeah, it wasn't, you know, people didn't even know how to talk to me, to give me that support that I needed, to recognize that I'm in pain. So I was talking to a lot of other people who were experiencing similar things, the lack of support in the fact that the work still needs to get done, regardless of the fact that my mind is like, my brain had like dislodged itself from thinking about, you know, my career, how I need to progress at work, perform at work, because I was hurting, and I was hurting in ways I couldn't understand. And you go to the doctor and he wants to give me antidepressants.
Right.
And that wasn't what I needed. And then I was given a helpline, and don't get me wrong, helplines can be really helpful. And I don't want to knock any of those out there that are providing exceptional support. But there are some that work via a textbook.
Yeah.
And that means you've never been through this pain to understand how deep it cuts. So I decided that I needed to do something, not just for myself, but also for other people that were going through what I was going through. And I set up a support group to help bereaved people and to let them know that I understand, and we all understand, the pain, and it's not all the same loss. And loss doesn't always mean the loss of life. It could be the dissocialization of the environment that you're in, your work, losing your job, getting a divorce, breaking up in a relationship, you know, being estranged from your children. All these things can make you bereaved, not just the loss of life. And the support that is needed, you know, just wasn't there. And some people if they don't get it, I'm sorry to say, but it can be catastrophic. It can lead to suicide. You know, it can lead to all kind of illnesses, severe mental illnesses, because of the loss of, you know. So this is why I set up the support group. It was set up in January 29, the 19th of January 2019. And I won't lie, there was a lot of people that said I couldn't do it, I shouldn't do it, because I was so torn about my mum. And as I had to explain to them, I know, sorry for if anyone who's not biblical, but I said that God gave Jesus a task, and he was whipped, he was broken, he was torn, but he still went and helped the people. He still went and saved our sins. So why can't I help the bereaved? And I would refuse to take it that I couldn't do it. So I came back to the UK after going to Canada to see my sister about it. And I decided to start it. I spoke to people in TK Maxx who'd lost people, you know, just talking to anyone, you know, around loss. And I found out I wasn't alone. And then I also met an amazing lady called Julie Mohammed, who works for SLAM Mental Health. She's a practitioner. She's got all the letters after her name. She knows her stuff. And she joined me eventually, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm quite happy to say this on here. I stalked her for quite a while.
You stalked her?
I stalked her to mentor me, to help me. And there's also another lady, I can't leave her out, Val Poole, who's from Cruise Bereavement Support. And, you know, Val reached out to me to help me. And at the time, I wasn't ready for Val's help. But when I came back, I had a very long discussion with her. And we joined forces in the fact that she's been on my platform that I do in the council every fortnight on a Thursday. We had a session yesterday as a speaker to also help the staff understand how to cope through their grief. So we got it going, and it's been going now from 2019 to date. And I thought, moving forward, the platform wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I needed to do more. And then, I don't know, I just got up one day because of an incident that I saw. I felt I needed to do something to help people in the working environment who are grieving to be recognised as that, and not as an illness, you know. And I didn't realise that there is, people put petitions out. So with that being the case, obviously I got up, I didn't actually get up, it was for Friday night. I was itching around on the 12th of May, trying to figure out what to do, and 3 o'clock Saturday morning, 13th of May, I decided to put together a petition to the Equality of Human Rights Commission. And I did that to them through change.org to ask for grief and bereavement to be added as a protected characteristics.
Added to the list. Added to the list of what else is on the list already?
Right, so the protected characteristics list currently has 9 characteristics, and that's age, gender reassignment. And if anyone doesn't know what gender reassignment means, it's basically in order to change one's physical sexual characteristics to match their gender identity. And then there's being married in a civil partnership, pregnant, maternity leave, disability, race, which includes obviously colour, nationality, ethnicity, or your national origin. Then you've got religion or belief, sex, sexual orientation. And obviously sexual orientation is where someone's identity, you know, is their, to which they're who they're sexually attracted to. So they're the 9. But if you're grieving and you're having things like multiple griefs, you know, all the triggers, old grief as they could call it, unprocessed grief, and that's grief that's not been dealt with when the loss had happened. It could trigger you at any point of time, and you don't speak about it, you know. And the things that I'm asking for, with it being a protected characteristic, is basically to allow, to accommodate when staff come back from being, well, if staff want to let their employees know that they've had a loss, because I'm not going to lie, some people don't tell. They just internalize it, thinking they can get through it. But without that level of support, you're leading yourself to what's called self-sabotaging, because you can stop eating, you can stop looking after yourself, self-neglect. There's a lot of things that can be going on with a person, but without getting to the root cause, and, you know, you have to, as they say, pick yourself apart completely to get to see exactly what the real problem was that caused where you are. I mean, I know what caused my problems because I know it's the loss of my mum, and I can identify sometimes where I could be sitting in the office and I was zoned out. I'm just zoned out naturally. And I know at what point of the year now I will have those triggers.
Okay. Yeah, so there's certain points of the year where, you know, that feeling, that emotion's going to come over you, but you understand it more now. Was there a point where you didn't identify it for yourself?
Yeah, there was. There was a point, because at one point I thought I was having a heart attack. My heart was really hurting, and I was getting loss of breath, short of breath.
So that would
and
be
I went to the
anxiety. That would be sort of anxiety.
It's anxiety, and it's also called a broken heart syndrome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which actually does exist.
Yeah.
It's a symptom that, you know, when they talk about broken heart, I thought it was just a myth, but it actually does happen. And that I you know, my mum going broke my heart, literally. And there is also the fact that I mean, many people around me know that I've shared this, so it's not secret that when I lost my mum, the way that I was overwhelmed by the loss, even though I've got my 2 gorgeous daughters and my 4 beautiful grandkids and my amazing husband and my family support that I have that are there for me, and my closest of friends, you know, I went to step in front of a bus.
Oh, wow.
Because I just couldn't cope. I couldn't understand it was too overwhelming. It was a hurt I'd never felt in my whole life. Yeah. And, you know, I've lost people, I've lost family members, but this was my mum.
This is
and
you're right,
yeah. You know, my mum, we talk about the Windrush, and yesterday we talked about intergenerational grief. You know, and my mum came over here as a seamstress, and she ended up becoming a nurse, and an amazing nurse, you know. And when I was thinking about all these things that she'd been doing for us and how she'd worked hard for us to have what we have, and now she's not here, and when the things we've achieved, I can't share with her like the way I would do.
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand. It couldn't register in my brain why she'd gone on, and also why didn't she wait until I got back from Cuba? You know, I had all those things. I went through that emotion, the guilt, the denial, you know, bargaining, accepting, but the acceptance came very late, and to some degree I haven't fully accepted because there's certain things that I still can't comprehend. But, you know, I know it's a process. Going through your grief journey, it's a process. The pain has to happen. But what people need to understand is that grief is love. It's the flip side. And we hurt because we love so much. But what we mustn't forget is how much they loved us, and that their memory has to live on. And I believe for every person who has lost someone, The support needs to be there for them to understand it's okay not to be okay. They are not alone. You know, the support is there. You know, as I said, the petition is on change.org.
Yes, let's talk about that.
I know I sent you the link.
Yeah. Send it to me and I'll share it again. Yes, send it.
I will do. We've raked up 455 signatures at the moment.
And how many do you need?
Hooray, here we go. the big ask. We need 100k signatures for it to be heard in the House of Commons. I got told recently that I need to get approximately 20 plus K signatures before I'm even contacted, which is cool. But I know I want to get it heard and I want to get it marked up so that, you know, they understand that we need to look at grief and bereavement as its individual case and break down the stigma that's currently there. Yeah. You know, bringing someone back into the office to work by regulating their workload. I'm not saying that because someone said to me, "What? So all people who bereaved need to just have time off?" I was like, "That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
no way.
Not as simple as
I'm
that.
not saying that. No, it never is. But if you need to go on annual leave, you ask your boss for leave, you take your leave. If you're going to go on maternity leave, you sign off your leave and you have your maternity leave. Yeah. Why cannot someone who is going through grief, who's lost someone, have bereavement leave?
Yeah, and that's a part of what the petition is about, yeah?
Yeah, because you've got to bury the person. You've got to prepare for all of that. The build up to the funeral in itself is traumatic. True. And then after the funeral, you know, it's like, and I can't compare it to getting married, but it's the adrenaline rush. Yeah. There's an adrenaline that you run on when you're coming up to that point. And then when that person is no more in your vicinity of sight, it's like a candy drop. Like you've had a sugar rush and you've dropped down so boom, because now everything is empty. What do I do next? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? Where do I move?
The loneliness. I've got a text message.
People need time.
I've got a text message here. It says, "I can relate to every word the sister is saying. Even now, tears in my eye. I'm heartbroken. I can hear the sister is still in pain." Yeah, that's coming from Mr. Marshall, just sharing how he...
Thank you. Yes. Heartfelt. Yeah. Totally heartfelt.
It's feeling it.
The petition's been viewed at over 16,000 views. If only I could have those as signatures, it would be boom. But and it's been shared almost over 300 times.
Okay.
So what I've been asking... go on.
Where do you find it? Just go online and type in...
It's on change.org. You can either type in Raquel Douglas and it will come up because I'm the only Raquel Douglas with a petition on there. Or you can type it in as Grief and Bereavement and it will all the other ones will come up. But mine's very distinctive. It's got my face on there. There's a blue background saying you're not alone. Can't miss it. But I'll send you the link. There's a QR code as well. I can send you. People can scan it. It'll take them straight to the petition. Or they can go on to my youarenotalone.bs. And before anyone in the background thinks, BS stands for Bereavement Support.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's on Instagram. So you can find my petition on Instagram as well. I'm also on LinkedIn.
Say that one more time. Instagram, where they find it on Instagram. Say it.
It's You Are Not Alone, all one word.
You Are Not Alone.
Dot BS.
BS. Bereavement support.
Yeah, that's what it stands for. Bereavement support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had all the jokes. Don't worry. But yeah, it's really important that this happens because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that there's some companies that are really hot on it. They've even got bereavement policies in place. But we need to we need to be like America. America have all these things in place for their employment staff.
Yeah.
You know, they put these things in there. When you go online, you look up bereavement and everything. Sometimes you think you're in the UK, but if you look at the link, you realize this is an American site. America pushes it out. They push out about bereavement hard. We do it here in the UK, but it's a taboo word like mental health. No one wants to talk about mental health. Yeah. Just the same way no one don't want to talk about grief and bereavement. And when someone dies and they've not experienced it, they don't know how to talk to someone. Please, if you know someone that's passed and you know that they've lost someone, be there. You don't have to say anything, but being there, being that presence, knowing that that person they can lean on, talk to, feel safe with as well. Yeah. You know, it's important. You know, we're not lepers. We're normal human beings, but we hurt. It's simple as that. It could be the smelling of a cooking. They could be in your house and you're cooking some food and it could smell like food their own parents make. And I ain't going to lie. I share this with everyone. I go to Healthy Eaters very regularly. Yeah. And I go to Healthy Eaters because, and please don't shoot me down. No, I cannot cook red pea soup. And my mother tried to teach me and I couldn't do it. Yeah. Right? Because her red pea soup, no one could touch it.
Yeah.
But when my mum was ill, she used to send me to Healthy Eaters to get a red pea soup. Yeah. Because even my mum would say, it's the closest I could get to my own soup, Raquel. And I'd be like, wow. You see, for my mum passed, every now and again I have to have a red pea soup. Yeah. And I have to go and get the one from Healthy Eaters. So I have to big up, Rosie and my good friend Stafford, because they also helped me through my mum's grieving, losing my mum. So there's so many people I want to thank, that have been there for me. My Auntie J, my Auntie P, both my girls, my grandkids, my husband, my rock, Mr. David Douglas. I'd be lost without him. My cousin. Yeah, got to give up my cousin Mons, She's been heart listen. And my good friends from Manchester, James and Nadine, met them after, during my mum was alive, and then after she passed, they've been absolutely awesome friends. Couldn't ask for better friends, The support line that we've had has been boom. So, and even to you, Mighty, because, can't lie, my husband's mum passed, my mother-in-law last year, March. Yeah. So we're dealing with a double whammy, Yes. And the support we've had there again also has been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I can't leave her out because I think she'll think I forgot her. Julie Pinder, she has been, I couldn't ask for a sweeter friend in supporting me through my grief, because when I was having my meltdowns and, absolutely losing it, because I know I'm on radio, so I'll keep my language clean. Yeah. She has helped me to keep my calm, like a pacifier. Yes. And everyone needs one of them. We need one of those people in our lives, and you need a mentor. So I have a mentor at work who helps me with my work. His name is Tim Fairhurst. He's absolutely phenomenal as a mentor. And, I've recently got a new boss. His name's Valdrin. He has supported me in so many ways so that I don't have to think about my pain. I can focus on my work and I can separate the two easily. And he gives me the space that if I'm not feeling fine, I can take that time. So and this is what we need, understanding bosses.
You seem to have a good support network now, but...
Now I have. Yeah. Now I have.
And that's what you want for everybody. That's what you're trying to put in place for everybody.
Yeah, and because I've experienced it, I want that.
You actually have a support group as well, don't you? So where can people contact your support group and get involved if they're seeking, maybe they just want to speak to you or one of your team to, identify something for themselves and how they're feeling, where can they...
Yeah, I've got an email address for the bereavement support, which is youarenotAlone.bs@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram, as I said, as You Are Not Alone. .bs. They can send me messages there, and I can link them with someone, depending on where they are. It's not just solely Lambeth-based, because grief doesn't pick a borough. Grief just comes. It don't pick a borough. It don't pick a colour. It don't care who you are, young, old. Don't care where you're from. When it comes, it comes. It's impartial. Totally.
And I've just got a few messages saying that we've signed the petition already. So a few people have gone on already and signed the petition this morning. So
bless you. Thank you so much.
And if you're signing the petition, if you could share the link as well with your network, everybody share.
Yes, please.
So that way we'll get it out there even further. Raquel's going to send me the link as well. So I'll have some stuff on my status, on my WhatsApp. And if you need it, call me and I'll send it directly to you. All right, wherever you may be.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you.
So, two things I want you to do before you go. I want you to reiterate where the petition is and reiterate your support group and where people can contact you. And and that's, we can wrap really from there. Yeah.
Okay. So the petition can be found on change.org, and the petition is called Grief and Bereavement to be added as a personal characteristic, and that decision maker is the Equality of Human Rights Commission. Okay. And as I said, it's at 450. Well, it's probably gone over that now with all who've been signing. Bless you all. But the aim is to get to 100k. When it gets to 100k, it will be heard in the Houses of Commons, and the decision hopefully will be made. And fingers crossed that we can become number 10 and on the list of protected characteristics. And you can find me or more information or youarenot-alone.bs, and that's on Instagram. Yeah. And the email address, I repeat again, is youarenot-alone.bs@gmail.com.
All right. Anything else you want to let the public know right now while we're on air before we wrap up, Raquel?
I just want to say thank you to everybody, even if they're not listening. I'm hoping they know someone that is, but to thank everyone so far for the support, the signatures, the sharing, the love that they have literally been throwing out there. I've been stopped by people I don't even know. I've had signatures from Gambia, Ethiopia, Massachusetts, Minneapolis, Jamaica, as well as the UK wide. So I want to thank everybody, because this is really passionate to me, and I know that I am definitely not alone.
All right, and they're not alone. So yeah, man, wicked. Thank you for taking time out, Raquel, and sharing that with us, because like you said, a lot of people, they might not even identify what they're actually going through, and they might even have that personality change, or somebody else might identify in somebody that they, one of their families, one of their friends, their partner, who's recently lost somebody, maybe a couple of years ago, 5 years ago even, but they've seen some sort of personality change, and they can say, oh, that's where it is, that's what it is, that might be the thing, and get them to get the support that they need to get them through. Yeah. So.
And I want to say something before I go, Mighty, just to the people that if you have lost someone and you've gone to the GP, try the support groups first, or even call me. Go through, might get to me through my page, but don't go on the pills first, yeah? Because there's another way through it, through the right support, talking about it. Don't retain it.
Yeah, because they start giving you antidepressants, and then it becomes a mental health issue rather than dealing with the real issue, which is the grief and the bereavement.
Yeah, let's deal with that first, and then we can talk about medication down the line if it is required. Yeah. But let's try the first point of the root cause, and dealing with that, we may be able to save more lives through suicide prevention. Yeah. We may also be able to improve the community. Who knows? But if we, as they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
All right, and Well, we'll be sharing the petition and keep us posted. Let us know what's going on. You keep me posted. I'll keep everybody else posted. And
definitely.
Maybe this time next year we'll chat again, live sparing, and we'll see how it's all getting on. Yeah.
Thank you, Mighty. Thank you for having me. It's been. Thank you.
Let's get the 100,000 signatures as soon as possible. Yeah, let's get it up there. All right, then.
God bless. Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend, Raquel. Thank you for taking time out. Thanks for speaking with us here at Vibes FM. And yeah, man, keep up your great works that you're doing right now. All right?
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you.
All right. Bless up. Bless up. Bye, Raquel.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
There you have it. Right here at vibesfm.net. I told you.